friends, it's time for us to finish up The Night at Dawn, book number 2 in the Magic Treehouse series. Chapter 9, Under the Moon. Jack froze. "It's him," Annie whispered. The knight held out his gloved hand. "Come on, Jack," Annie said. "Where are you going?" said Jack. "He wants to help us," said Annie. "How do you know?" "I can just tell," said Annie. Annie stepped toward the horse. The knight dismounted. That means he got off the horse. The knight picked Annie up and put her on the back of his horse. "Come on, Jack," she called. Jack moved slowly toward the knight. It was like a dream. The knight picked him up too. He placed Jack on the horse behind Annie. The knight got on behind them. He slapped the reins. The black horse cantered beside the moonlit water of the moat. Can you canter? It's like a slow little walk. Jack rocked back and forth in the saddle. The wind blew his hair. He felt very brave and powerful. He felt as if he could ride forever on this horse with this mysterious knight. Over the ocean, over the world, over the moon. A hawk shrieked in the distance. "There's the treehouse," said Annie. She pointed toward a grove of trees. The knight steered the horse toward the trees. "See, there it is," Annie said, pointing to the ladder. The knight brought his horse to a stop. He dismounted and helped Annie down. "Thank you, sir," she said, and she bowed. Then Jack, "Thank you," he said, and he bowed also. The knight got back on his horse. He raised his gloved hand. Then he slapped the reins and rode off through the mist. So was he a friend or was he a foe? He was a friend. He helped them back to the treehouse. Annie started up the tall ladder, and Jack raised his glove, and Jack followed. They climbed into the dark treehouse and looked out the window. The knight was riding toward the outer wall. They saw him go through the outer gate. Clouds started to cover the moon again. For a brief moment, Jack thought he saw the knight's armor gleaming on the top of a hill beyond the castle. The clouds covered the moon completely, and a black mist swallowed the land. "He's gone," whispered Annie. Jack shivered in his wet clothes as he kept staring at the blackness. "I'm cold," said Annie. "Where's the Pennsylvania book?" Jack heard Annie fumble in the darkness. He kept looking out the window. "I think this is it," said Annie. "I feel a silk bookmarks." Jack was only half listening. He was hoping to see the knight's armor gleam again in the distance. "Okay, I'm going to use this," said Annie, "because I think it's the right one. Here goes. Okay, I'm pointing. I'm going to wish. I wish we could go to Frog Creek." Jack heard the wind begin to blow, softly at first. "I hope I pointed to the right picture in the right book," said Annie. "What?" Jack looked back at her. "Right picture, right book?" The treehouse began to rock. The wind got louder and louder. "I hope it wasn't the dinosaur book," said Annie. "Stop!" Jack shouted at the treehouse. Too late. The treehouse started to spin. It was spinning and spinning. The wind was screaming. Then suddenly, there was silence. Absolute silence. You think they're at home, or do you think they're in the dinosaurs? Let's find out. Chapter 10, One Mystery Solved. That's a clue. The air was warm. It was dawn. Far away, a dog barked. "I think that's Henry barking," Annie said. "We did come home." They both looked out the treehouse window. "That was close," said Jack. In the distance, streetlights lit their street. There was a light on in their upstairs window. "Uh-oh," said Annie. "I think Mom and Dad are up. Hurry." "Wait." In a daze, Jack unzipped his backpack. He pulled out the castle book. It was quite wet, but Jack placed it back with all the other books. "Come on, hurry," said Annie, scooting out of the treehouse. Jack followed her down the ladder. They reached the ground and took off between the gray-black trees. They left the woods and ran down their deserted street. They got to their yard and crept across the lawn, right up to the back door. Jack and Annie slipped into the house. "They're not downstairs yet," whispered Annie. "Shh," said Jack. He led the way up the stairs and down the hall. No sign of his mom or dad. But he could hear water running in the bathroom. Their house was so different from the dark, cold castle, so safe and cozy and friendly. Annie stopped at her bedroom door. She gave Jack a smile, then disappeared inside her room. Jack hurried into his room. He took off his damp clothes and pulled on his dry, soft pajamas. He sat down on his bed and unzipped his backpack. He took out his wet notebook. He felt around for the pencil, but his hand touched something else. Jack pulled the blue leather bookmark out of his pack. It must have fallen out of the castle book. Jack held the bookmark close to his lamp and studied it. The leather was smooth and worn. It seemed ancient. For the first time, Jack noticed a letter on the bookmark, a fancy M. Jack opened the drawer next to his bed. He took out the golden medallion. He looked at the letter on it. It was the same M. Now, this was an amazing new fact. Jack took a deep breath. One mystery solved. The person who had dropped the gold medallion in the time of the dinosaurs was the same person who owned all the books in the treehouse. Who was this person? Jack placed the bookmark next to the medallion. He closed the drawer. He picked up his pencil. He turned to the last wet page in the notebook, and he started to write down the new fact. The same. But before he could draw the M, his eyes closed. He dreamed they were there with the knight again, all three of them riding the black horse through the cool, dark night, beyond the outer wall of the castle and up over a moonlit hill, into the mist. The end. That was exciting. Once again, Jack and Annie got to go on quite the adventure. They met foes who wanted to hurt them, but they also met a friend. I wonder if there's a connection between these friends. I wonder who N is. We'll just have to keep reading and find out tomorrow when we start book number 3, called Mummies in the Morning. Bye, friends.